Hello and welcome to Comm 101. I'm your instructor Keith Klein, and we're going to go over a few things that will help you do better in this class. If you pay attention to all of the things we talk about, you should do quite well. Let me give you kind of a little bit of a background here. My role in this particular course is not to turn you into some keynote speaker at some big convention of 10, 20,000 people. My job is to help you eliminate one of the most common phobias that most people have, and that is a fear of speaking in public. My job is that if at the end of this class, even though we understand right now you have a lot of fears and concerns and phobias about public speaking, if at the end of this class you can feel comfortable enough that you would not hesitate to go to a school board meeting on behalf of your child, or a city or a city council or county council meeting on behalf of yourself, then our role will have been fulfilled. I'm not going to try to turn you into something you're not. I want you to be conversational. I want you to tell stories. I want you to make sense. I want you to be ethical. I want to make sure that you follow the rules of public speaking so that there's never a question that you're doing what it is that you're supposed to be doing in this class. So we're going to go over a few things. Number one, I'm your instructor, and you're going to be doing this either in a face-to-face class or an online class. If you're in the online class, you are either in 80N or 81N. If you're in the face-to-face class, you're in 01N, 01N. Now, let's talk a little bit about what happens in the online class. First of all, as soon as possible, you need to go into Blackboard. You need to go to the Start Here section. That's where you're going to find out about all the assignments. Before you do that, I want you to look at all of the announcements. Each of these has a tab on the far left-hand side of Blackboard. So click on the Announcements tab, and you're going to see a lot of things that you need to pay attention to immediately. Failure to do that will cause you no end of problems in this class. So let me give you a little bit of a caveat here. You are taking a 16-week course in 8 weeks. All right? You're going to do 16 weeks worth of work in 8. That's right. So everything is doubled up. You've got to read and follow directions explicitly. You cannot fail to do that because it'll cost you points. The biggest problem we have in this class is students leaving points on the table. So let's go ahead and talk about some of the things that are going to happen. If you follow all of the directions in this class and you do the work and you submit it on time and you generally follow directions, you will leave this class with at least a C. A's and B's are equally easy to get, provided you get a little bit better each time, that you pay attention to the things that I say and the critiques that I will post for you to see in YouTube, and that you follow the directions explicitly that are outlined in the book. All right, so they're very, very easy to do and get along with. So when you go to the announcements section, we want you to pay attention to a couple of things in particular. First of all, you're required to submit a fantasy name. The rules are there. Your first test is whether or not you follow those rules. And I can pretty well guarantee you someone in this class is not going to follow the rules. You need to submit a 1-word, no numbers, no longer than 10 letters, fantasy name. The fantasy name cannot be anything close to your real name. So, for instance, if your real name is Woodson, your fantasy name cannot be Woody. All right? And basically what we're going to do is I'm going to do critiques of your videos, and we'll put them on YouTube, and the only way you'll be identified is your fantasy name. Once you send me the fantasy name, and I don't say back to you that's not acceptable, you will never use your fantasy name anywhere in this class. I will know who you are. When you submit the speech, it'll be clear to me. You do not use it in any of your Blackboard postings. You do not use it in any of your emails. Nowhere do you do that. I will know who you are. You will know who you are. Those are the only two people who need to know. All right. Next thing is you've got a photo ID. In an online course, I've got to be sure that the person speaking is the person registered for the course. So I must have a photo ID. Easiest way to do it is to scan your driver's license and send that to me. I must be able to see your picture. If I cannot see the picture, you will not have submitted your photo ID. All right. Read. It's all there. Read all of these rules. Next, you have to register for Connect. You're going to find out more about that in the Blackboard Sessions tabs. We'll talk about that in just a second. All right, so fantasy name and a photo ID immediately. Once you get into the Blackboard part where you see the various tabs, the first tab I want you to look at is the Start Here tab. In the Start Here tab, you will see the syllabus for the course. You will see the course calendar. You must follow the course calendar explicitly. Now, you'll notice on the course calendar that there are 16 numbers there. And remember I said that you're taking a 16-week course in 8 weeks? Well, sessions 1 and 2 are the first week. 3 and 4 are the second week. See how that goes? So you've got 2 tabs that you have to do each week. Each week you will have to do a discussion board. So there are 2 tabs, so that's 2 discussion boards each week. Read the directions. You must answer the main question by Wednesday at midnight. You then have to come back and look at everyone else's answers, and you must comment as directed in the discussion board on what they have written. The directions are there, easy to follow. Also, since you have read the syllabus, hopefully, very carefully, you have a syllabus quiz that you have to take. You must do that in the first week. If you do not send a photo ID, if you do not send me your fantasy name, and if you do not take the syllabus quiz, you will be considered non-attendee. And then at the end of the first week, probably on June 17th, as I look at the calendar, you will be dropped from the class. That's pretty severe, but that's the way it works. We can't wait around for you. All right. Discussion boards. When you go into the session, you want to do all of the stuff that's there, and you want to pay particular attention in session 1 to getting connected to Connect Lucas, all right? And that's the directions are there, how to open up in Connect. You will need this textbook. There you go. This is the textbook for this class. It's called Public Speaking. It's by Stephen Lucas. It's this edition, and it's the black and white cover. You will also need a Connect Lucas card, which came with the book. It's just inside the cover. That is how you register for this class. Now, if you do not, let's say you bought your book used, the Connect card, if there is one there, is invalid. It's already been used. So you have to get a Connect card if you didn't get it with the textbook when you bought it new. And there are a couple ways of doing that. You can go to the local bookstore and do it. Here in Bloomington, they have them separately. Or you can go online, and there's information there on how to do that to Connect. And with a credit card, you can get the Connect card downloaded to you. All right. Now let's talk about something else. For this class, you're going to be shooting your speeches in video. So as it told you, you need a digital video camera. All right? You'll need a tripod. You don't want the camera shaking all around like this when you're talking or moving in and out and all of that stuff. So you'll want a tripod so that the camera is very still. Now, listen very carefully to what I'm going to say next. See this shot right here? Roughly the bust line to an inch or two above the head. This is the only shot I want to see in your speech from start to finish. Don't zoom in. Don't zoom out. Don't go left or right on a pan. Don't tilt up or down. This shot, steady. Now, if you hold up a visual, then you will send me a copy of that visual. Don't zoom in on it. Don't do any other tricky thing. Send me a copy of it. You will also, sometimes you will use PowerPoint. Do not move the camera over to show the PowerPoints. Send me a copy of the PowerPoints. I will listen to what you say, and I will look at the PowerPoints so I can get all of that visual information. Your failure to follow this simple direction, this shot only, no moving in or out, will cause you to fail a speech faster than anything I know of. All right? Follow this direction carefully. Now, generally, the microphone is on the camera. So do not zoom to this shot. Because if your camera's way back there, and the microphone's way back there, but the shot is the right shot, I'm not going to be able to hear you, or it's going to be real echoey, or I'm going to hear all kinds of other things. You must control the noise in the house, the room, the building, wherever you are at all times, because if I have to fight to hear you, then you're not going to do very well in a speech. Do not put the camera next to anything noisy, a fish tank with a bubbler in it. Don't put it anywhere near a TV that's on. Watch kids in another room with a TV on that we can hear where you're talking, and cut down on any interference. Do not, under any circumstance, shoot into a window, even if it's got a curtain in front of it, a window, a patio door, anything like that. Also, do not have on either side of you or right above you in the picture bright light. What happens is you have an iris, and anything that bright causes that iris to clamp down like that, and when that happens, your face will turn into nothingness, and I won't be able to see you. All right? I got to be able to hear you. I got to be able to see you. You have to have an audience of 6 people, 16 years of age and above. They must walk in front of the camera. Walk in front of the camera. Set up your shot. They walk in front of the camera. If they're tall, they kneel down or duck down a little bit, look right in the camera, and they say, "My name is Keith Klein," and they give their age. If they don't want to give their age, they can say, "I'm over 21." If they're 16, 17, 18, 19, or 20, then they need to say what their age is. They shouldn't be too ashamed of the young age. Sometimes older people don't want to say how old they are. Okay, fine. Walk in front, give their name and their age. Once they've done that, and once they're seated, then you move into this shot, and you start your speech with your whole being ready to go. Do not start your speech looking down at your notes and stuff like that. Look down at your notes, get ready to go, get your composure, look up, wait for a couple of seconds, and then start your speech. All right? Now, make sure that you control the room noise and all of the outside factors that will interfere with a quality speech. Do that. You also must read the directions. Most speeches require a speaking outline and a practice outline that you turn in. Read the directions. They'll tell you all about those things. They must be sent to me via email. Email is from your Ivy Tech email address to my Ivy Tech email address. Do not post anything in Blackboard. I will not look for it there. I will not read it there. It must come to me by my email address. Please look in the announcements. There's a very special way you have to address all notes to me, all emails. You must follow those directions, and there's an explanation there about why those directions have to be followed. Okay? If you have any questions, you call me in my office. You'll have that information on the syllabus of how to reach me. I'm not real big about writing. I teach speech, so I don't like to write. I don't mind talking. Call me on the phone. Don't write me long, involved emails that I've got to sit down and figure out, all right, what kind of an answer do I do to this? But if you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me. And you've got my phone number information. Follow the directions, and you can reach me. All right? That should do it. You pretty well know what the directions are. You pretty well know what you have to be prepared to do in this class. And I wish you luck. We're going to have some fun, and it's going to be an interesting class. and I want you to stay with it to the very end. Remember, you do the work, I guarantee you at least a C. All right, pretty good deal. All right, we'll talk to you later. We'll have more messages like this from time to time. So you now have one more responsibility. You have to send me an email following all the directions telling me you have looked at this video. This is the welcome video. Send me an email, say I have looked at the welcome video from beginning to end. Now, if you haven't watched it all the way to the end, you will not get this direction, you will not turn it in, and it will affect your grade in this class. All right? All right, that's pretty well it. If you have any questions, give me a shout.